Well, hello again, folks. Well, last time my camera had some issues, so it kept cutting out on me at the end. I think it's because the SD card, it was nearing full, it wasn't full yet, but I guess that was causing some issues. But never mind. We're gonna continue somewhere about where we left off, I think. So we have the flywheel side put together, we have the generator, we have the seal put in, now we have to do the clutch side, or the oil pump side, however you want to call it, really. And we have that seal put in on this side on the oil pump itself. And as you can see, it's protruding out a bit. So just that conical bit on the seal itself is above this lip here on the oil pump. Okay, and what I did after that, because it wasn't completely straight when I put it in, I just put it in my vise and cranked it just a bit so it flattened everything out. A vise is a great tool for this because you have a flat side here, so it's flat like this, and you can push it between the vise jaws, and then you'll get a nice flat press inside. If you don't have a press, of course, having a press is the best thing, but you know, can't have everything. Now we're gonna continue putting this together. So on the back here there's this tiny, whoops, there it goes, there's this tiny square o-ring or seal that goes right up here. So it just goes on this part, don't forget that. Then the next thing we have to put in the oil line with the pickup for the bar oil. I'm just gonna use the old one, it seems clean enough, and the hose seems in fairly good shape. Someone might have changed this, because I don't think this would be in such a good shape if it was still original. So it was changed at some point. But we just put that in the tank and we push it down, and that's it. Very simple there. Okay, now what I like to do is, again, take some 2-stroke oil, just dab it on my finger and oil up that seal lip a bit so it's easier to get on. Okay, and then since this side is much thicker, we have this lip on the crankshaft itself. Let's see if I can get you in closer. So basically you see that lip or that step here. Oop, there we go. Yeah, okay, that's better. So we have to get the oil seal lip across that step and down, and that can be a real big issue because it's a shallow part. You don't have much room to go down and then back and straighten everything up, and it's not a gradual like the flywheel side, so it tends to prolapse the seal there, and that means it pushes this lip out, and then you basically bust the seal. When it starts up, it heats up and everything goes to hell. Well, not to hell, but it leaks and you won't have a good seal. So what we do, and props to the Tin Man for this. This is something I saw on his videos first, so thanks, man, you're great. We put a bit of a pop can or beer can or whatever you have, aluminium foil. We make a little cone out of it and we place it on top of the, or over the crankshaft, and put it on there snugly so it goes over that step on the bottom. Hopefully you can see that, so it goes all the way to the bearing. Then we take our pump and oil seal and we just have to make this top side smaller, so you know, squish it a bit make it smaller than the crank seal. We put it down and we wiggle it just a little bit, and then when you take this out, make sure you don't push this edge of the aluminium foil towards the seal, because you can cut it. So spin it gently to the right if you have it twisted around. So you have it twisted around counterclockwise, twist it clockwise so it goes up and away from the seal. So you push it out, and there you have it. So this should be perfectly in. You can check around that seal. It looks really good here. I'm gonna check how it looks on the other side, just as a reference. I don't know if you can really see that. Maybe you can. Let's see if I can push in a bit closer. So you see how that lip is nice and straight. If it will focus. Yeah, there we go. Nice and straight, and next to the crankshaft here. And then we flip it to the other side, and we have the same thing on this side as well. Hopefully you can see that it's nice and flat, it's not bulging out or anything. So super simple, and this can be a real pain if you don't use some kind of trick like this. This makes it really easy. Okay, next up, the screws, of course. I think this will be, this is a 3mm Allen wrench, and of course we put some Loctite on that. And we have 3 screws for the oil pump. Kind of obvious, but you know, have to talk about something. Make sure you don't cross thread. It can be really easy, but as I said before, just take everything by hand and you should be good. And try to clean out everything. I don't know if I spoke about this earlier, but when I'm putting things back together, I like to clean them first, because it makes things a whole lot easier to see, easier to work with. I'm not in a mess, and you don't get dirt into all the parts. You know, if you're putting in seals or bearings or whatever, you basically want to blow out all the sawdust, all the oil, you know, at least brush it off or something, because it's easier to work with, and it can cause problems if it gets between the surfaces where it's not supposed to be. Okay, so make this, you know, kind of tight. Don't go crazy, especially if you put in some thread locker. You don't have to go crazy with it. And I use this medium thread locker because then I can take it apart later if I have to, and you know, you do have to. Every now and then something happens. Okay, let's see what we have next on this. So we have some plastic bits here and there, but I think we can actually put on the flywheel on this side, and some of the wiring. Just have to grab my box of bits here, bits and bobs, some bits and bobs. I haven't washed these plastic parts, so I'm just gonna wipe them clean. They will get dirty again, of course, with sawdust and crud and things like that, but you know, get them fairly clean if you can. So we put that back in here. And clicks nicely into place. So that goes there. Then we have this plastic chain guide or something or other. Maybe someone can correct me on the name of this part. That goes in here. Just push it on as well. There we go. Nice and firmly in place. Okay. Then we have the flywheel key, which goes on the crankshaft. Oh, I forgot to check. If everything spins nicely. Yeah. Well, of course, now we have some resistance because of the oil seals. It's not gonna spin freely like before. But it should still be smooth. Nothing should be catching. You can check visually if everything is fine around the seal itself. Everything looks nice here. Okay. Let's see, where are we? Okay, the flywheel. So we put the key in. I think this will be the easier way of doing it. Yeah, so we put the key into the crankshaft, then we match it up with the flywheel. It should drop right in place. It should spin smoothly. Yeah, nice. Okay. Then we have the washer and nut here. What size is that? I'm gonna find. I have to find the appropriate socket for this one. Okay, so this is a 14 mil. 14 mil. And this is a normal thread. This washer here is a bit banged up, but I think it's gonna work. I'm just gonna tighten it by hand because I don't really have to. I don't really have a way of blocking the piston right now, or the crankshaft. So I have to keep in mind to tighten that up later when we have the cylinder and piston up there. Okay, then we have the pawls for starting, and these are very simple, of course. So they look like this. We have this bolt or screw that goes through, and the spring is on the bottom side, and it catches into this notch here. And if I can remember how this is supposed to fit, I think it's like this. We'll check it, of course. Maybe add some Loctite on that as well. But I think this looks about right. I'll have to double check this actually. I think this is okay. Yeah, I think this is okay, but I'll have to check this because I'm not sure if this is correct. This should be okay. This should be okay, yeah. Okay, then we have the other one. Same thing. So we line up line up the spring, make sure it's in the notch. Let's see if I can get you maybe a bit closer here. Put it in there. Actually, I'm gonna put some thread locker on that as well, because it does have it. Oh yeah, forgot to mention this part. So this is kind of like a baffle, or what do you call that? Yeah, like a baffle, I guess, and a washer at the same time, which goes on the underside of this pawl. So bear in mind to keep that in place as well. So on the other side as well, I just didn't pull it apart. So just a bit of Loctite on there. And this one is going in a bit strange. Maybe there's something in the hole. Maybe we have some dirt in the threads. Not sure. Not sure. Let's see if I can get. Where are my small sockets? Be right back. Need my tools. Okay, there we go. So this is an 8mm socket. Yeah, it's going in okay. It's a bit stiff. I'm not sure why. I don't think it's cross threading. Let's see. Yeah, it's not cross threading, but still a bit stiff, but I guess that's okay, as long as we can tighten it down properly. Yeah, no issues there. I think that's good. So we tighten it down. The other one as well. Don't go crazy with this because it is an aluminum thread, aluminum flywheel. Okay, then we have the coil and starter, and this is a fairly old coil and starter, so hopefully it's gonna be okay. Don't really know if these work. I can't recall if I checked for spark at all when I got this thing. If it doesn't work, I'll have to order a replacement one. But you know, same old, same old. Put some thread locker there. Ooh, a bit too much. Yep, okay. Bit there. And this is, I think it's a 4mm Allen. No. No. Which one is it? No, where's my 4mm? Yeah, here it is. It is a 4mm, just had the wrong one. Just get it loosely in place. Don't tighten it down yet because we need that air gap. And we need we need some kind of credit card, or what do you call these? Now I'm missing words again. I had one somewhere. Oh yeah, here it is. Missing stuff all the time, so we need a piece of a card, some kind of thicker paper to put in here to give us that air gap. Then we spin it around to meet the magnets that will pull it in. When you have that in place, you cinch it down to position the coil. And you tighten. Attack on Titan. And when watching Attack on Titan, I still have half of the last season to watch. I think it's a cool anime. There we go. Okay. The gap looks good. It's even, it's nice and close. Perfect. We put these wires in the groove where they belong, and we need a small screwdriver, if I can find one, to take off this grounding screw. So we'll need to connect that. Oop. Need a bit more wire here. There we go. Just gonna gently push that in. Okay. And the black one goes next to it. And up and in here through this hole. There is a grommet somewhere for this one. I just have to find it. There we go. So this goes around here. I don't know if you can see that actually. Should have checked before. Okay. There we go. So there's this kind of cut grommet. It's not in really great shape here, but it doesn't really matter much. So we just put that in place. Push it in. This should help with any debris from entering the airbox area, in theory at least. In practice there's sawdust everywhere, so not much will actually help there. Okay, make sure the wire has enough space. I need some space. Not you, it's me. Okay, bad joke's over. Then we have the starter. So this saw has a two-piece ignition, obviously, and hopefully it works. I have no idea. Hopefully I won't have any issues with that. We'll see when we try to start it up for the first time. Actually, I'm gonna check for spark before that, but still. We're gonna put some thread locker there and there. I kept these screws in their place where they were, so I don't really have to think much about what goes where. That makes my life much easier. This is a 3mm Allen for anyone that's interested in that. And as I said, I cleaned everything up. This was positively filthy with sawdust and oil and all of that lovely stuff. So now it's really nice and clean. I don't know if I pinched this wire here. Hopefully it's gonna be okay. I don't think it's gonna mind much. I do think it went under there originally, but I need some slack. I need some slack on the wire because it kind of pulled out a bit from this groove. There, push it down a bit. There we go. Yeah, much better. Much better. We can leave it there. Okay, there we go. So the starter is in. I just have to connect this little screw here, and that's it for this side.